But yeah, buongiorno. I am Sara. And yeah, there was already some introductions. So I'm Brazilian and I'm based in Norway. And there like, it's been 10 years. I work in this company, Guinness Design, and I'm a senior developer there. And it's been like working with WordPress for 10 years and being WordCamps. And I love this community, and I'm very happy to be here in Verona for that. But today, I'm not going to talk about anything technical, like you guys wonder. I'm going to talk about creativity. And okay, there was 2 questions already replied. I know more or less, but I have a third one. Is there any artists here? Yeah, it can be WordPress artist, or you feel like yourself you're an artist. One, okay. Yeah, you too. Yeah, good. So I'm going to talk about the make of art, but hold on to that. We are going to get to WordPress too. So artists, I've been growing up with artists, even though I'm not one. I have like artists in my close circle, and I see that they really think differently. They think like very abstract and uncertain, and when they are working on something, they are not sure when it's end until it's ended. No, and for me, as I code since I was 13, and this idea is like so different from the way I think. I think like in numbers and black and white, but it's very different from what we are, as like most of us in this room. But there is one thing that me as a programmer and an artist have in common. I don't know if you guys are going to agree. It's the God complex. we we are both arrogant, and we have this thing about like we create something, we feel good about it. So for me, this is the only thing in common we have, and that's fine. We're different. People are different. There's no problem with that. And uh, don't take me wrong. I think we use a lot of creativity in our everyday life, like as designers and coders. We literally use both sides of our brain. But the difference for that is that artists, they use it for self-expression, and we use for problem solving, right? You guys agree? Yeah. And for me, it's more safe. I have a problem. I use creativity to solve that problem. Artists, they will go like wherever. Ooh, I create something. So that's fine. We are different. And now I'm gonna tell you guys 3 things about Norway. Uh, One thing is that they put a lot of pineapple in the pizzas. And I no. And I have Italian grandparents, so I'm on your side, guys. The second thing is that this is going to be useful information from later. They are obliged by law to recycle in Norway. We all need to recycle, otherwise we get fines. We can even like our trash is not stop being picked up if we don't sort correctly. And then the third thing is that it's culturally that everyone has to have a hobby there. Because they value a lot of free time. Work is not the most important thing in life. So living there for many years, I got the pressure of having a hobby. And I'm from Brazil. I used to work in São Paulo, so I didn't have time for doing anything but work. But living in Norway was like, yeah, maybe I'll get a hobby. So I decided to come back to studies last year, and I applied for a cinema school, actually, because I love cinema, and then I wanted to. And I got inside for one semester in a film school, and it was really nice. It's like, yeah, I have something other than work and family to do. But I didn't know that by the end of the first semester, I had to create an original short film and do everything from zero. And then I freaked out because, like, I just want to study. This is just a hobby. But wherever, I went through this, and then I got like, okay, I can be creative by logic, but I cannot be abstractly creative. So I did something that every normal person would do in my place. So I got utterly obsessed with the team, like the paradigm of between logic and creativity. So I went very, like, I have this thing, I go very nerdy, into deeply into a subject. So I did that with creativity. I read articles, books, like everything in between, like psychology, philosophy, scientific papers. So I went all in, and by the end of my semester, I actually did a movie, and these are some clips from my movie. And my professors, they actually got really happy about it, and they motivated me to apply for some. It's kind of a horror. They motivated me to apply for some festivals and stuff, and I got inside, like, this was like last summer. I got inside 6 festivals so far, and one in Rome, short film festivals, not big festivals. No. And I even won an award in Berlin. So that was like really cool. And but does that mean that I became an artist? No way. That means that I found a way as someone that cannot think of so abstract. And in the meanwhile, while I was studying and working, I didn't stop working for that. I realized that learning about these things reshaped my way of that I work in my company, my daily job. And this talk is the result of all this research that I made, and I wrap it up in 6 tips. So, like, hopefully it's going to inspire you guys too to be more creative. So let's start. Okay, the first one, I give some dramatic names for them, but they're pretty simple. The first one is the harmony. So the invisible threads of mathematics can be visible, can be found in all over nature. You guys agree with that? Like, we have patterns, and like, let's take the golden ratio, for example. We can find the same thing in seashells, in the galaxy, in our DNA, in flowers, and even on design of the human face. Look at the person on your side. Look at the ear. Let's go the ratio. No one look at. You know how an ear looks like, right? So our first idea of beauty comes from nature. And nature is patterns. It's pure mathematics. Even in perceived chaos, you find these patterns. We find like a logic inside of it. So the same thing happens in our brain, because our brain is a nature thing, right? Like everything. So these patterns, we keep looking for these patterns in our mind. So let's think about if you meet someone new and that person is very talented, what are you going to think about that person? That everything they do is great, right? Or if someone tells you, like, oh, that person is really dumb, so you're going to think, like, yeah, that's just going to, everything that comes from that person is dumb. So imagine what's going to happen if you keep telling yourself, like, oh, I'm not a creative person. Oh, I cannot do anything. I cannot make art. That's not for me. So your brain is going to go into self-sabotage mode, and it's going to try to prove to you that you're right, because it's going to try to find these patterns. So this is a mindset that we keep having for ourselves. So my first tip is pretty simple and cute. It's like, believe in yourself. So if you if you believe that you can learn anything, and you can, like, work hard and learn even to be creative, that's the first step. You need to go for this before you go for anything else, because our brain is the most powerful tool we have. So, okay, the second one, I call it the box. So you need a digital box of your choice. Can be a Google Drive. It could be a Pinterest board, can be your notes. Find what is easier for you to reach in your phone. And then every single time you see something that you actually like, you try to decode that thing, that what you actually like about that thing. It could be like a font in a book cover. It could be a color palette in a painting that you saw. You don't go like, I like this painting. It's like, but what do I like about this painting? And then you put in that box that specific little piece that you like. It could be like, sometimes I put like, oh, I really like this conversation I had, this comparison that I was talking. And then I put that comparison in a conversation in my box. Like, yesterday I was in the Galeria de Arte Moderna here, and I saw something. It was like there was an AI exhibition there, and it was like a VR that you could scan and see like some crazy things happening. And there was something that's very disturbing about that. And then I was like, what is so disturbing? And then I was looking at it, and I saw that because right now we know what AI videos look like, right? It's a little bit robotic. We kind of know, this is an AI video. But the elements, they were so natural. There was like sand and earth and like nature textures. And that was what disturbed me, because my brain see it as AI, but everything's so natural. And I love that, to be disturbed. So I put it in my box. What I'm going to do with that, I don't know. So the thing is, next time you are going to create something, it doesn't have to be related to the things you put in your box, but go to your box and see all these pieces you put there and try to connect them. See like, okay, this song that I like the mood of this song, maybe could help me to make a mood board for my client. So you don't have to take the thing and do the same thing, but this box is who you like, is what you like. So use this box for whatever you feel like, whatever you do, to inspire yourself to do something unique. Because what makes us unique is actually our experience, is what we have our limitations. We just can't see as much. So our connections are unique. So that's what makes something original, which is not original. It's just pieces here and there that become something else. Okay, now I have a question. That's the third one. Who here had, at some point in your life, a great idea during the shower? Idea. You had an idea during a shower. Last night? Yeah. I fix bugs in the shower. Yeah. I tell my company we need to have a shower in the office. So have you ever thought that the reason to do that is because those 5 minutes in the shower is the only time in your day that you are alone with yourself? We keep trying to avoid silence, right? We are always on our phones. Like, I'm taking my example. I'm like waiting for a dentist in the office, and then I'm on social media. I'm walking to work. I listen to a podcast. Even like after a long day, I come back home and I want to watch trash TV instead of just doing nothing. Like the cup is always topped. And when you think these connections on those little pieces of a puzzle that I talk about the box are going to happen if you don't give space for your brain to make those connections, right? Okay, who here knows Miyazaki? Okay, nice. I love it. I love him. I love his work. And it's been like long time I like him, but there was always something about his movies that also made me uncomfortable, and I wasn't sure what. And on this research, I found an interview about him, because I was looking for like interviews about people that are very creative to know more about it. And they actually made a question to him, like, why there's so many scenes in your movies that nothing really happens? And then I'm like, yeah, that's the thing that makes me uncomfortable. Like, nothing happens. Like, and you're just watching, like this scene of Shihiro and the No Face. They are in a train and they are going somewhere, and they just sit there for like minutes. Nothing happens, you know. It's not about anything. And then to reply that question, he talked about a word in Japanese which is called ma, and he said like this is intentional. It's for contemplation. He said like we here we like to have this space in between things to. It's called intentional emptiness. It's the he say like is the space between a clap. And then it was really nice to know that, because we need this space, you know, and that made me think so much about it, that and actually there are two words, it's gate and sun, and it means that the light beaming through the empty space of a doorway. So it's like that little space in life that you just stop and think. So my this is I think the third one is like give time to your brain, give silence to yourself, make space for the ideas to come. Okay, the fourth one is tools. I talk about our main tools, which is our brain, but of course we're like depending on what we do, we have several tools to use. But my tip that worked with me, and also I start to apply in my job, it was make it simple. You know, you don't have to overcomplicate your tools. You overcomplicate your ideas. You do a lot about it with creativity, but the tools, you need to keep it simple. This is an example because we are talking about art, right? So it's like Neiman, Mondrian, and Albers. They are like really famous painters, and they just kept simple, and they didn't have to overcomplicate to be successful. So this is a nice sentence, making the simple. So it, of course, I'm not gonna talk about tools without talk about AI. It's our favorite subject nowadays. And of course, I use AI a lot, coding and everyday life and as a tool. But I really don't want AI to give me the answers. I want to be the one creating the ideas. I want AI to just be my intern to help me to think, you know. And then there are some, uh, if you look online, like how can I do that? There are some very nice prompts that you can help AI to help you without actually giving you the answers. You know, this is one that I used a lot while I was doing my film. And so I'm up for AI, but let's not let them do things for us. No, because they should do the boring part. We do the fun part. Okay, the fifth one is the experiment. Who here has kids? Yeah, me too. Are they babies, older? You are, yeah, toddler. Yeah, I'm going to talk about toddlers. Terrible too. Yeah. So this is a little bit about the science part when I was researching. And like we need to create something new. We need to play around like a kid does, and like we did when we were kids. You know, we experiment things we don't know yet, so we try, and like our toddlers do. Like I have a son, and he would like when he was 2, he would just do whatever and then see my reaction. Or he's like, oh, what if I put this inside my nose? And then like they're little scientists, you know. And we need to learn from them. Or we can say like play around, or we can have the fancy word, which is like apply scientific method to it, because that's what toddlers do. They do this all the time. They try, they observe, they try again, they adapt, they change. So, but we need to do that now, but with a playful mind too, like kids do, you know. So, uh, live if you live into discovery, it's way better to have the assumptions about everything, you know. So like be open-minded, like I know about this, but maybe I don't know about this part of it. So I'm just gonna discover and be open for it, you know. There's no problem of say I don't know about it, you know. And the last one is the problem. So that one I got stuck to because I'm a problem solver. And I'm like, I'm going to make a film for what? To just express myself? That's not enough. I need a problem to solve. So then I got stuck on that. And then I was even like, why make art? Why am I doing this? So there is no point, you know. And then by that time, I was by the end of a book. And then I got the answer for that. It's like, I think it's the Creative Act, the book from this guy. So he said, like, the act of self-expression isn't really about you. It's about the experience you give to whoever is going to like see what you do or use what you do. And we went from problem solving to experience. And that I was like, okay, I can live with that. I can work with that, the experience, make the experience. And doing something, you still have some control over some variables for that experience. But of course, every experience is unique, like our users in the products we create. And that leads me to something that I use a lot at work. So it was UX. And then I could finish my my film because like okay I can work with the experience. And then I was able to work with this because that was my problem to solve. And at the same time I was working with this. It was the Northern Norwegian Waste and Environment Company. I was doing the new website while I was going crazy into this research. And so remember about um, sorting the trash and stuff. So I start to, without thinking, thinking about the experience of this website by itself. Because normally I would just like, I have tasks, I'm a coder, I fix the problems, everything's fixed, you know, I don't think so much about it. And then like, okay, but what's the experience on this one? I start to wonder. It's sustainability. Okay, that's fine. But then at work, we already do green hosting, we take care of carbon footprint, we like do the code accordingly. So like, okay, but that's not enough. This is already what we do. And then I started to think about, okay, it's recycling, it's reusable mindset. So all the features that the website needed, I start thinking like, instead of uh, doing, for example, they need a open hours block. So normally I would just do a custom block and then they would just put the data there. But then I start thinking like a reusable mindset. They have the open hours on Google. So let's use the Google API to bring it so they don't need to add it again, you know. So there was another one that there is a national website outside of them that there's so much data about sorting and what type of things to sort and how to do it. So instead of us having all this data on the website too, we integrated that other website, API for that website, inside the search of the WordPress search. So they would go there, but they don't need to add there. And they also have an app for knowing when the trash truck would passing through your street. And they have like one different from glass, one different from normal trash. So it's a lot of things to know. So they have an app, but it's an app, so not everybody has an app. You know, some old people they're not so like familiar with it. So then I also thought about bringing the data from the app there so they can search into the website. And so I did all of this. It was like more to use this mindset of recycling. But it gave me meaning for the website. And then I was thinking like, oh, if there's a code there and it's going to go check out the code, they are going to know what we did. But of course, the normal user is just going to go there, oh, is it open? Yeah or not? So that's fine too. You know, I don't need to show all my layers of my work to everybody. But I know that if someone's going to look into it, they're going to know, oh, they are also recycling data on the recycling website. And that's really cool. It's like about onions, you know. And that reminded me of a conversation I have with a professor in my cinema class, that we are talking about what types of movies we like. And then I asked him, like, I like this type of movie that it's very entertaining and it's very easy to watch, and you can just like have a good time without thinking so much. But if you like pay attention of some meanings around, you know, and then like, oh, this means something. Oh, maybe Jesus about that. It's also a movie for you because you are gonna you're gonna get there, and then. But also the same movie, if you are like, oh, Jesus because of the history, and this means like that. So you like actually on your phone researching about to know more. So it's like going very nerdy and meaningful. That is also a movie. And then my professor told me like, Sarah, this is just a good movie. So, and then I found out that I can also do this type of products, you know, with meaning and quality, and that every type of user can actually get some nice experience out of this. This is all my tips, and I'm curious to know if you guys like and which one you like best. And that's it. Thank you.